The vision board by itself is useless.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
there is no how, if there is no proper planning.
What are the tools, essential tools that would help us?
There are a couple of them. I would just speak to the one that I have used and that I've helped other people use in the last couple of years.
All right.
It's called a vision board, right? So I have a platform, or I guess a platform and an event called the Vision Board Experience, right?
Yeah.
So I bring people together to envision their year, and then it's essentially a goal-setting workshop of some sort. And then from there, people are able to then use cutout of magazines, right, to represent those goals on a board. I tell people, you can stay in your house, cut out beautiful pictures and put it on a board. You don't need to come to me for that. What you come to my event for is that goal setting aspect of it. Because what I've realized over time is that a lot of us don't do very well. We're sitting by ourselves, thinking deeply and planning well.
Wow.
We don't do it. We don't do it very well on our own.
That's
right?
True.
So when they come out, you know, so one of the biggest aspects of my event is the reflection exercise. I don't spare I tell people at least 1 hour.
Wow.
By yourself with your thoughts. Don't talk to anybody, don't touch your phone.
Just you and your thoughts.
Think, right? What do you want? And then you then get to how do you get it done? So that process already gets you going, right? So at the time I then give you the trifold board or whatever other tools I'm giving to you, it's easy for you to then say, oh, every time I see a picture of this graduation gown, I know I'm supposed to do something about my master's degree. Every time I see this picture of this plate of fruits, I know I'm supposed to take my health more seriously. You know, so because the vision board by itself is useless. If there is no how, if there is no proper planning. So I tell people, because some people have come to me and like, oh, my vision board did not work. I'm like, sis, did you put in the work though? Right. So don't just stop by cutting out. That's beautiful. Put it somewhere. That's great. But to make it work is I have now said I'm going to wake up at this time. I have now said I'm going to apply to 5 schools. I have now put proof of funds. I've started that, you know. So all of the things that need to be done, you still need to do that work. You know, so the vision board is not a magical tool. But what it does, I tell people what it then does is that it brings the goals closer. Every time you're seeing it, you're like, and I tell people, I don't know if you have heard of this, I don't know if it's a principle, something about the red car. Right? The idea is if you wanted to buy a red car, or if you just bought a red car, when you are driving out, everything you're seeing is red.
That's true.
Do you understand? So it's just, it's top of mind. Those things were always there, but you never really saw them. But now because your mind is focused on this, you're just seeing it everywhere. It's the same way with having your goals on a vision board. Because now that you're seeing it, all of a sudden, a random conversation you're having with a friend is getting you closer to your dreams, you know. And then, so I think that that's definitely one of many tools. There are people that they don't care for visuals, right? And I tell people it's not for everybody. If it's not for you, it's not for you, right? You can do your regular goal setting, pick up a journal. But I want to tell people, I don't think any of us will go very far if we don't put in that hard work of saying, what do I want to achieve? And how am I going? If you don't do that how, forget it. It's just a wish list. You get, you know, it's a wish list. But to get it done, we all must do that hard work. So and I believe that there are a lot of digital tools out there as well that people can use, right, to do that. So, but please don't stop at just writing all the things you want to do. Those are outcomes. Those are outputs. What are you going to put in? You know, to get there. That's the end of it. You know, at the end of 2025, I'm now 60 kg. Oh, wonderful. That's a good goal to have.
But how?
Oh, my sister, my brother. Are you going to get there? Right.
Wow.
So,
wow. Well, that's interesting. Because vision board, because you have a vision board, doesn't mean you actualize everything.
I don't think so. I mean, there are different kinds of vision boards. Now, people pay me to do this.
Oh.
So do I want to do that?
Please.
So there are different kinds of vision boards. I tell people there are you can make it. I have a board that is lifetime. Right? The person at the center of my board is Maya Angelou. If you know anything about Maya Angelou, that's not somebody you become in 10 years.
That's true.
That's me saying, at the end of my life, when I'm looking back, can they look at my life and look at someone that's accomplished than that and say, oh, she was quite on a journey, you know. So I have that lifetime. I have, I'm married with number of kids, right? So that's a lifetime, like
goal.
just thinking life goals in general. And you can do one just for the next year.
Okay.
And when you're doing that one for the next year, you have to then think smart.
Okay. All right.
Is it specific?
Oh, okay.
Is it measurable?
Okay. Thank you.
Is it actionable? You know,
because I never factored that in.
You have to be smart about it. So the reality is, I think a lot of us sometimes set ourselves up to fail. Can you achieve 7 things in a year, especially if they are lofty goals?
Yeah.
Maybe, if you have the tools and capacity. But sometimes you realize that there's a lot of wishful thinking there. Am I going to buy a Jaguar next year? The way my finances are looking, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Do you understand? So if I put it there that I want to get a particular kind of vehicle, you know, then I must also be thinking how much money is coming in that year. How much do I have in savings? Is it realistic?
Okay.
Do you get? So that way I already set myself up for success.
All right.
So out of 7, maybe you only needed to put 3.
All right.
Or 4.
Oh.
So
it's not about the number.
It's not.
All
it's
right.
not. It's
Thank
not.
you.
So yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up. So please just help us broaden on. You mentioned SMART.
Yeah.
So what does it mean? How does it come into play?
Right. So SMART is an acronym, you know, that goes hand in hand with when you're talking goal setting, right? So S stands for specific, right? You want that goal to be very specific. What is it?
Okay.
It's not I want to lose weight.
Okay.
That's not specific.
All right.
But I want to lose 10 kg.
Okay.
Is specific. No, we're getting there.
Right.
I didn't want to get ahead of myself. Yeah.
All right.
So, you know, and then is it measurable?
Okay.
Right. What makes it measurable is that I want to lose this number of weight by this time, right? So at that time, you're able to say, did you achieve it? Right. So you then need to put by Q2 2025 or by April 2025, you know, something like that. You know, and then we get to, so we've done specific, we've done measurable, we've actionable, right? Like, how are you going to get it done, right? Is this doable? Is this doable? Is this a wish? Is this a phantom? You know, is it doable? And then you get to realistic, right? Or some people use relevant, right? Is it realistic? Can it be done? You know, I gave the example of the car. In the terms of the weight loss, what kind of job do you do, right? Is it realistic, knowing the kind of job, for instance, a lot of us that work in offices, it's a sedentary lifestyle, you get to sit down a lot. Is it realistic to then lose 20 or 30 kg with that lifestyle, right? Except something dramatic is going to happen. But assuming you're maintaining that lifestyle, is it realistic? Maybe not. Maybe you then need to bring the goal to making it realistic. Would then say, instead of saying 30, I'll say 10. Okay. Right. Because I'm still going to do some work, but because of other factors, right, this might not be
beyond your control.
Exactly, right. And then T is, you know, timely, you know, so you add the time and all of that. So those, it's very key to apply that, you know, you must get specific. Even with the life goal, as much as it's broad and big, there's still some specificity around it. So when I channel one person, right, I'm able to pick out things I love about that person, right? And then those are the specifics that I'm working towards, right? I chose my Aunt Jelly because she was an author, she was a poet, you know, so she was in the arts. She gave good advice. She was wise. You know, so I'm thinking about, and I'm like, Bukola, this is the kind of person you want to be. You know, I know that I cannot model one person 100%, right? Because I have my personality, I have unique things to me, but there are things about her that are specific enough that I'm saying, this I want to measure my life against at some point, you know, so yeah. Oh,
that's interesting. Thank you for sharing, that. What would you say, I think for me now be specific, I will now play smart with my goals, right? I won't just have them as wish, because of course I had wish lists, a lot of wish lists last year. So I think this year 2025 I'm going to definitely do it differently, and for you watching, I'm sure this would help you as well.